London here. Today I'm going to give you some of my favorite exercises with a light resistance band. We're going to be using the band from Perform Better, and I'll put in my notes where you can order the band from. So let's get started. So we're going to get started lying down on your back, and you're going to put your band up and around to the top of the knee. Just put it on both feet. Once it's on, as best as you can lie down on your back. We're going to start with your hip rolls. You want to make sure your feet are hip width distance apart, shoulders are long and down by your sides, and long through the collarbone. Hip rolls will be first so that we can just kind of warm up and mobilize the spine. Inhale, you'll breathe in. Exhale, you'll roll through your imprint. Squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. This will help you press lightly into the band so you can work your outer hip muscles while you're doing your hip rolls. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll back down. We're going to do 4 more. Roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off your mat into your bridge. Inhale and exhale, roll back down. Roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes, roll your hips off the mat into your bridge. Use your abdominals. Inhale, exhale, roll back down. Watch for your hips to stay nice and level. Roll through an imprint, squeeze your glutes. Inhale at the top and exhale, roll back down. Last one. So we're about to do the one-legged bridge. Let me just show you a modification quick. If when we set up for the full one-legged bridge, you feel like you need to modify. So you just tap that leg down, and you're still doing your one leg initiation from the glute bridge on your supporting leg. This leg is very lightly on the carriage, but you're not extending that leg and feeling any strain in your hip. So that would be your modification. Again, pressing lightly open into the band, keeping your long levered leg the same height as your opposite thigh. So squeeze the glutes and lift the hips. You're not going to roll up and down this time, just bridge up and then lower back down. Exhale, lift. Lower back down. We're doing 8. Try to keep your long levered leg straight. Notice it lowers a tiny bit when you lift your hips, and it lifts a tiny bit when you lower the hips. Can you see that? So a little bit of a lift, a little bit of a lower. Keep those thighs the same height. And we do our bridge. Again, noticing this leg lifts when my hips go down, slightly lowers when my hips go up. Okay, love this exercise to help you stabilize at the knee. Keeping those hips level. I do keep an eye on my hips without jamming my chin to the chest. I just kind of keep a little look to make sure my hips are elevating at the same level. Keeping your long levered leg really straight. And remembering that you could always do a modification. And now we're going to move the band to our feet. You want it around your feet now, not at the ankles. Legs will be in tabletop here. Shoulders will be lying back and down, collarbone long, hands long and down by your sides. And make sure your legs are just slightly apart. Inhale, you'll prepare. On an exhale, you're going to keep one leg active and still, staying in isometrically as the opposite leg presses away. Drop back in, and exhale, we'll switch our sides. You want to lower this leg as long as you can stabilize your pelvis. I'm working right now in a neutral pelvis, but if it felt better, you could imprint. I'll do the next one in imprint. If it felt better to your low back, you could imprint here. I am stabilizing my pelvis in neutral, which is a small curve underneath my lumbar spine. I like to spread my toes up nice and wide here so that my band doesn't have any risk of slipping off my feet and slingshotting across the room. This is great for the hip. I do have to give credit to my good friend Serena Bernal. She showed me how to do this exercise and I love it. I do love to do a good set of these, anywhere from 4 to 8 reps. And then return. Next, from here, we're going to do a roll up. Straighten out those legs and you can roll down. I like to put the band around the knuckles here. Arms reach over by the ears. You don't want to reach so far that you pop out in the ribs. Draw the ribs down into your abdominal region, your ribs down towards your hips. Okay, stay connected in the abdominals. Reach the arms. On an inhale, you're going to gently nod your chin, lightly press into the band. Curl, flex your abdominals, roll up, rounded shape towards your feet, stretching through your legs. Inhale on the roll down, and then exhale, finish your roll down. Again, inhale, curl, roll back down. I'm going to have you press lightly into the band when you roll down. Activate the abdominals and slow down how you roll. Inhale, arms over chest tight. Exhale, curl and flex the abdominals, rounded shape. Don't disengage in your shoulder blades here. Still stay drawn back and down. Inhale on the roll down. Exhale, press lightly into the band as you fire into your abdominals and arms and roll down. Draw that arm, shoulders down, nod the chin, curl and flex, roll up, roll back down, shoulders down, and again. Again, you could do 4 to 8 reps of those. This next exercise is new. It's a form of a pretzel, and you might have to practice with your band to make sure you keep it where the band has the resistance against the leg. What I'm doing is putting it around one of my feet that's going to be externally rotated in front, and then around the arch of the foot in the back leg. And then you have to make sure that the band stays where it needs to. So a slight flexed foot is what I'm finding helpful. Then I'm sitting in my mermaid as squared as I can. My hands are going to help me. They're just going to lightly press into whatever you're sitting on, maybe the floor. Here I'm on the reformer. So we can lift this back leg here. Draw up on the abdominals. Don't lean too much, but you don't want to sit perfectly up straight. So let's do these all now. That's the first move that you'll be doing, is lifting this leg. Let's lift and then lower. Now what I like to do as I'm getting more flexible, I like to bring this leg slightly back. Now I'm going to lift back here, okay? It's helping me feel it more in my glute. Exhale, lift, okay? And I'm lightly pressing. If you're on the floor, you can press into the floor. I'm lightly pressing towards my body. We're going to do 8, and you can do 4 to 8 reps of this. You will feel some low back. If you do feel a lot of low back, you could go down here, and that takes it out of the low back. Okay? That was really nice too. 8 reps, and anywhere from 4 to 8. So here, keep that leg elevated. These are starting to get challenging. Press the leg behind you and then draw it back forward. Press it behind you and draw it back forward. Again, press. Wow, I can really feel these. I feel these even in my seated leg. Shoulders back and down. I'm getting an arm workout too as I'm pressing lightly into my body to help keep me up. Slight flexed foot only here so that you keep the band. If you need a break, you would rest back down, or you can continue on, keeping that leg up, pressing out this time, and out. Also keeping that knee slightly back. Feel these. And then you can release. So we're switching up our sides. Again, finding that spot. I actually just had to do it a couple times and then edit because the band just kept slipping. Again, find that spot that you can keep the band the whole workout. So it's harder for me. So we're just lightly lifting that knee. My band does move a little bit. Again, pressing lightly through my arms. So much harder for me here, okay? So on your weaker side, you just gotta have practice. And remember, you could do all these exercises without the band if you wanted to. Or you could always go down. But you gotta keep it a long down. You can't slouch down. Nice long down. Lower and lift. So now here, pressing back. Pressing back. Again, back. And back. It's even harder to sit up for me on this side. I'm less flexible and I'm weaker. Exhaling, keep those abdominals engaged. Let's give a break right here again. I'll give the break on the other side and here, and then we kick the leg out, little ones. Ready? And it's a kick out, kick out, kick out, out, out. Slightly keeping that knee behind, which is much harder for me on this side. And then into your rest position. Again, you could do that without the band. I had trouble myself keeping the band around my foot for this side, which was my weaker side. So next we're gonna go onto the hands and knees, and the band is gonna go around the feet. You can put it on now, and you might have to reposition it. If you can keep some tension in the band, it'll help you keep the band where you need it. Press that leg out. Draw back in, press out. Again, love these. Exhale, press out. You want to make sure here that you're keeping a nice parallel leg. Toes are pointing straight down, hips are staying squared. Shoulders are directly over the wrists. Abs are staying engaged. So it's sides in.
I wanted to do a little voiceover about this side. I had an injury in my hip, a labrum tear, back when I filmed this video in 2014-ish, and I had piriformis syndrome, and you can see a lot of dysfunction on this leg. We're going to be completing 12 on this side. I now teach that you should slide your leg and extend the leg out on the mat. But however, you can see I'm initiating a lot with the hamstring. I'm actually experiencing pain here. Although I said it was tight, I actually was getting pain when I did this exercise. So make sure to slide the foot on the mat, elongate the hamstring, then use the glute to extend. But here I was dysfunctionally moving due to pain. Another sign that I'm dysfunctionally moving is the arching of my back. So I would recommend, if this was you, I would take the tension off and do this slide with no tension at all.
And release. Now the band's gonna go, we have our final 2 exercises. The band is gonna go up, around the knee again. We're gonna separate the legs and lie on the belly. Fingertips in front of the eyebrows. We're just going to do a scissor kick. Keeping the kneecaps nice and straight, pressing lightly into the back of the band with your back of your knees. Avoid rotating at the hips. Keep nice and stable. Draw in and up on the obliques. Really work on those kneecaps. I know my knee slightly bends. These last few, I'm gonna really focus on straight kneecaps. Really press through those knees. Dumbbells engaged. And you can always do this without the band. Last one. Then taking a little shell stretch, pressing yourself back. Nice shell. I'm rolling out of it. Last thing to come up on top of the shoulders is your head in line with your shoulders, your ribs in line with your hips, and your hips right over your heels. So a little external rotation. So you can either sit with your legs out in front of you. Or in a cross-legged position. It's always nice to work flexibility. Whatever's more comfortable, you could also stand. Elbows are by the body. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, I want you to externally rotate at the shoulder girdle. Keep the elbows close to the body and hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop back in. Do it again. Press. And this kicks in those external rotators. I like to hold them for 4. Keep the elbows by the body. Okay, sitting right shoulders over ribs, ribs over hips. Hips right now are right above the sit bones. Avoid leaning back and slouching. And if you do find that you slouch and you want to put your legs down, you can. Push. This also will give you really nice definition to your shoulders. Do one more. And release. So these were just some of my favorite exercises with your light resistance band. Again, I will give you the 1-800 number so you can buy your own. These are the bands I love and I recommend. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and working out with me.